Alright, how's it going, folks? Wits NFL here again. This is actually take two of this video. I was in the middle of doing the last one, and in the middle of the gameplay, my internet cut out. And I can't go back and pick up where I left off. I can't edit that video, effortlessly. Excuse me. Even if I did, it wouldn't be live anymore, so I'm just going to do it again. So, take two, Destroyer tutorial. Similar to last few videos, what I like to do is go over all the different lines for destroyers, explain their quirks, kind of help you to pick out which one might be the best. I'll go over the different commander types for destroyers, and then I will get into some gameplay. So, first up, American line. As I said in my cruiser tutorial, I highly recommend that your first ship of each type be an American one. So your first battleship, highly recommend the Iowa. Your first cruiser, highly recommend Baltimore. First destroyer, highly recommend Fletcher. They're great ships. They're good at everything. Kind of a jack of all trades, and they're really good. You're not going to be disappointed with them. But they'll teach you the fundamentals. They're going to be one of those. All three of these ships, right, are ships that are great. You'll come back to them a lot. It's not like you're going to get it and then say, oh, this one's better. This is going to be a ship that you play a lot. And I highly recommend them just so it teaches it to you. In this case, it's the Fletcher. I don't have the Fletcher just yet, but I do have the Sommers. That's a jack of all trades. Really good guns. You get 5 127s. They reload in 3 seconds. You can get that faster if you want to. Pretty solid damage. Sorry, that's another one of my games. That was part of the other video. Torpedoes, really good too. You get 2 quintuple launchers. That's 5. And they go out to 10 kilometers, so pretty long range. And they can hurt. Ignore that stat. Let's go to the upgraded version. 16,633, pretty solid. 122 second reload without any boosters or mods, commander skills, nothing like that. Pretty solid. You get 16,700 hit points. Solid. Guns, they hurt pretty good, especially the HE. That's great. You get pretty good long range too. So aside from having great guns and great torpedoes pretty much across the board, and longer range torpedoes, you also, kind of a quirk of the Americans is you get an American smokescreen. They last a really long time. This is a 2-minute smokescreen, so you can kind of just sit there and HE spam from the smokescreen. So yeah, it's kind of something that does a bit of everything. Next up, we have 2 Japanese lines. Japanese destroyers are probably going to see, they're kind of like a mainstay. You're going to see these in just about every match. In particular, this line up here, one of these. These are very common ships. Why is that? Well, that is because, I'll put it this way, destroyers, unlike battleships or cruisers, there's some that are designed to be good with guns and some that are designed to be good with torpedoes. So that means some of these are going to be able to mop the floor with, other destroyers and will unquestionably win that gunfight. One of them's going to have a huge disadvantage versus the other. So it's not really like a battleship, You're not looking at 2 battleships and saying, oh, this one is unquestionably better than the other one has no chance. You can say that for the most part with destroyers. So, top one, Kaguro. This is the more common of the 2, I would say. Kaguro, it's got pretty solid guns. They hurt, but they just take a long time to reload. You don't get much hit points, so why would you run this ship? Well, the torpedoes. You get 2 quad launchers, so less torpedoes than the Fletcher. But they're Japanese torpedoes. They do about 21,000 damage compared to the Fletcher's 16,000. So they hurt a lot. They hurt quite a lot. You can also exchange your smokescreen for a torpedo reload booster, which means you launch your 8 torps, you pop this, you get 1 of them, and you get it full set, reloaded again in 8 seconds. So you can imagine the benefits of that. They are pretty quick and very stealthy. Most of these are going to have a low 5-kilometer detection. Some of them actually have as far as high 4s, which is nuts. So, very stealthy, very hard to spot, and very deadly for battleships, but pretty much any other destroyer in the game is going to mop the floor with this thing if it gets spotted and they get into a gunfight. So, that's that. Yeah. Next up, you have the Akuzuki. And this bottom line is the polar opposite. The torps aren't bad, per se, not as good as other ones, but this line is a gunboat line, so that means your guns are your main friend. In this case, the Akuzuki gets the same torps as the Kaguro, but you only get 4 of them instead of 8. But you get 8 100mm guns that reload very, very quickly and do quite... they shred things, we'll put it that way. They reload in 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds you have 8 shells coming at you. They're going to shred other destroyers. There's not many, if any, destroyers at Tier 7 that are going to beat this thing in a gunfight. It's very scary to go against as a destroyer. Plus, it's stealthy. And you can HE spam battleships. It's honestly, it's like a Weimar. It's crazy. You can island spam. If you're a light cruiser player looking to get into destroyers, this is going to feel very familiar and very fun. You will enjoy this quite a bit. I highly recommend it. You get smoke screens that are pretty good. They last a little over a minute. You get engine boosts plus 2 torpedo reload boosters. Again, you're only getting a launcher of 4, so, you know, that's really just a couple launches of 8. So, but the torpedoes still hurt. Guns are still really good, still stealthy. So this is a gunboat destroyer. It's designed to HE spam and take out other destroyers. Next up, you have the British destroyers. This is the Lightning. The British quirks, you have a couple of them. One is the torpedoes are pretty average in most stats. The thing is, you get to launch them tube by tube. So most destroyers you're going to launch, let's say you have a launcher of 3, or 2 launchers of 3, let's say that. You launch one, there goes 3 torpedoes. You launch the other, there goes another 3 torpedoes, and that's it, right? In this case, you have 2 launchers of 5. What it allows you to do, you can not only launch all 5 at once, you can actually launch one at a time as well. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know? So you can kind of imagine the benefits of that. You get to control your own spread of torpedoes. If you have a battleship that's charging you, bow in, just dump them all at the bow. It'll be near impossible to dodge those. The guns are pretty solid. You also, the other thing is the smoke screens are unique. You get a ton of them, but they're short duration. So it's kind of like, you know, an oh shit smoke screen. You get spotted, you pop it, you run, and then it's reloaded again. So, pretty useful. Not like the Americans where it's designed to sit in. You just kind of use it, maybe you sit in it for a little bit, and that's it. So yeah, and then also you have a sonar. It's not the best sonar in the world, but it is a sonar, which allows you to maybe spot something in the smoke screen, and it also allows you to spot torpedoes as well. So that's useful. Yeah, that's the British line. Next up, German line. This is kind of a destroyer pummeler. What's the significance of this? Well, these torpedoes are actually the weakest torpedoes in the game, I believe. They only do 14,400 damage, which is very frail, very weak torpedoes. Range is okay, 9.5, not great, not terrible. They're pretty quick, 69 knots. They reload pretty quick too, a little over a minute for the reload, but again, they don't really hurt. The main thing with this is the German lines get big guns, so they actually have really good AP. Look at that AP damage, 3,700. Great HE fire chance, but they're a little slow to reload at 7 seconds, so take that with a grain of salt. Pretty stealthy, 5.6 kilometer detection with my build. Not particularly fast, not really slow either though, so. Main thing with this is you get a smoke and sonar combo. The sonar is actually really good, 4.4 kilometers. So what that allows you to do, if you spot another destroyer, you smoke up, you pop the sonar, and you just get to take free shots at them. They can't see you, you can see them though. And you can also see their torpedoes if they try and torpedo you. So that's kind of the benefit of the German line. Next up is the French line. Couple of quirks with this. One, you don't get a smoke screen at all. You have no option to equip it. So that's a disadvantage, right? However, great torpedoes. They are really, really fast. They hurt pretty well. And you get a unique layout too. You get, you see you got one in the middle and the back there, and then 2 on each side. Well, the one in the middle can fire off of each side, but the ones up front can only fire on the side that they're acquainted on. So you could fire 6 off one side, 3 on the other. 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 6 off one side, 3 on the other You might say it's a disadvantage. It's not really. It actually can lead to a lot of perma floods. So you know, if you torpedo them, they flood, they hit the damage control. Well, by the time you turn around and launch the torpedoes at them, they get hit by another set, and now they're flooded permanently, which is usually going to mean they die. Plus, they're fast, so they're hard to avoid, hard to dodge. Also, very good for taking out other destroyers with the torpedoes. The guns are pretty big, 139s. They hurt pretty well. They got pretty solid fire chance. Another thing with these is pretty stealthy, 5.5, so it's a little lower than other ships. Mostly, though, it's fast. These things are the fastest ships in the game. This is 44.4 knots before the engine boost. With the engine boost, it gets to like 52. So you can sometimes outrun aircraft carrier torpedoes, which is insane. AA is going to be a little weak, so it's going to struggle against carriers, which are kind of like the bane of destroyers. They're the bane of everything, honestly. And the guns, you also get a reload booster, only one of them. Cuts your reload time in half, so it's like if you have a destroyer that you really need to take out, you pop that, and it's going to make you a lot better against that destroyer. It's going to give you a pretty significant disadvantage. So yeah, they're really fast ships. They have really fast torpedoes, unique layout, pretty good guns too. That's just the French line, but no smokescreen. Next up, your two Russian lines. This one, basically, it's a tank. It's got the most hit points in the game at tier 7 for destroyers. You get 21,500. That's crazy. The guns hurt. They have really long range for destroyer guns. The torpedoes, not the best. They reload somewhat quick, but they don't have great range. These aren't that stealthy. They're basically just designed to go pummel other destroyers and kind of play cruiser a little bit, HE spam and kite behind islands, things like that, against battleships and whatnot. You can also uniquely swap out the smokescreen for a heal. The Russian destroyers are the only destroyers in the game that are not premiums that you can get heals on, so very tanky. You can imagine the benefits of that. Next up, the Utaloy. I prefer this one, honestly. It's not as good in the gun category. You get the same amount, but they reload twice as long. But you get 15 torpedoes. They don't hurt that much, but you get 10 and then another 5 on the other side, so you get a lot of torpedoes. The most at tier 7, actually. Same as the Shima, but they don't hurt as much as Shima Torps, obviously. They don't have the same range. So, not quite a Shimakaze, but still very good torpedoes. It's quite a wall of skill to throw up at somebody. You also get a smokescreen and the heals, both. So you don't have to pick either. So yeah. Also, both of these have great AA as well. So the Russian line is just tanky, meant to take out other destroyers. This one gets a lot of torpedoes. They get great AA too. So those are your Russian lines. Lastly, you have the Pan-Asian lines. This one, you have two real quirks. Very, very little warning time. For instance, the Japanese torpedoes, you get 1.9 action on them, so as soon as the torpedoes enter 2 kilometers, you can see them. This one gets 0.7 kilometer. Less than half the amount of time to react, so you can imagine if you're torpedo in Iowa and they see those torpedoes, they're taking them. There's nothing they can do. So that's pretty unique, right? You're going to be very accurate with your torpedoes with this. You can also swap these smokescreens. The smokescreens are pretty good. For radars, it's not the best radar. It's actually a pretty bad one compared to cruiser radars, but it's like, it is a radar. But then you don't have a smokescreen. You're not going to be the best gunboat either. You don't have many hit points. You actually have very few hit points. In this case, it is... let's see, 15,500. So let's just say you don't have the smokescreen, right? You pick the radar. Your guns, I'll mention, they reload in 3.3 seconds. A little more than the Fletcher, but one less gun. So I'll present a scenario. They do have pretty good AA, though. I'll present a scenario for you here. let's say you pick the sonar, right, and or the radar, and you have the skill, twist and track is what we call it, that points to the nearest ship. You know there's a destroyer nearby. You pop your radar, and let's say it's a Takshan or an Akuzuki, or maybe I don't know, a Fletcher, you know, something that's good against other destroyers. Well, can shoot you back, and then it's the same as if you were to just advantages given. 2, you can not shoot them and hope your teammates will hit them. That is somewhat of a use. It could also be useful if they're sitting in a smoke screen, you can radar it, but it's like the amount of uses that in particular self-defense and taking out other destroyers yourself. Rare. So yeah, the Pan-Asian destroyers, basically deep water torpedoes. They are you know, pretty long range. They hurt pretty good, 18,000, and they're just hard to detect. That's the. Also, not out yet. They're coming out in a few days. You're gonna have Pan-Asian or Pan-European destroyers. The main quirks with that is going to be really good AA. They're going to be the best AA destroyers in the game. Probably, I'm trying to remember. I believe some are going to have torpedoes. There might be one that doesn't. There's a ship in the game called the Friesland, which is a destroyer without torpedoes. It's just got really fast-firing guns, so it mops the floor with other destroyers and, you know, HE spams battleships and cruisers really well. But anyway, they're going to have good AA. They're going to be kind of destroyer hunters, I believe. Not particularly great torps, but, you know, carriers are kind of a big problem for every class in this game, and every ship. They don't make the game better, in my opinion. But they affect destroyers negatively more than anything else. So, that said, let's get into some gameplay here. I'm going to run probably 2 or 3 different destroyers, kind of give you... I'm going to do... I'm not going to do the tech tree ones, or the premium ones, I mean. I'm just going to do tech tree just to give you as good a representation as possible. So, let's start off with the Z-23. If you remember, this is the German one. It has big guns, torpedoes that don't hurt, but you get the smoke sonar combo, so I'll show off that a little bit and show you how useful that can be. Now, like I said, this is live, right? So anything can happen in a live game. Not going to make a claim that I'm the best player in the world. I'm above average, I would say. But anything can happen here. Okay. So this is a non-carrier game. That's great. Now, another thing to look at for destroyers is going to be radar cruisers. Radar, basically, it's a consumable that cruisers, sometimes destroyers, and one battleship gets that spots you at a very far range when you're not expecting it, for something like 30 seconds, depends on the ship. Usually it's going to be your American, your Russian, sometimes your British cruisers that are going to have it. In this case, there are none. Hipper has a long-range sonar at 5.4 kilometers, so that's something to keep in mind, but otherwise, no radar threats. Let's get into this here. For shooting other destroyers, most of the time you're going to want to have HE loaded. I may switch to AP if they give me a broadside. Just depends, because the AP on this does a lot of damage. So you see we have a located sign. What is that telling us? Well, you see that little hologram next to it? The transparent half circle thing? That is pointing towards the closest ship near us. It's a skill that every destroyer is going to have, and a few cruisers are going to have. Usually what it means, if you are located, is you are the closest thing to the enemy destroyer. So whoever that circle is pointing to, for me, that's letting them know that they are the closest thing to me. It's not telling them what I am, just that they're located by something. We're going to go ahead and dump some torps out there. They're pretty long range, and we know there's something out here, so... There are no radar threats for us at this point. Oh, we spotted another destroyer. Alright, there's the Benson.
Alle Stationen, Feuer auf das Ziel konzentrieren.
So we're not going to spot him. We're not going to shoot him just yet. We're just kind of trying to keep him spotted. Now you see he popped that smoke screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to speed up a little bit. We're going to try and get this sonar off and get some free shots on him. Popping the sonar. Maybe we can steal his smoke screen too. We will have to see. Now you can see, like we talked about, the torpedoes reload very quickly. 9 more seconds, we're gonna have them. There's the enemy destroyer. Let's go ahead and shoot this guy. So you can see, we're not spotted. We're just getting to shoot him for free. Even if it's not us getting that kill, that's a destroyer off the board right there. Let's go ahead and just take some shots at the Flounder real quick. Good chance those don't hit, but we have a minute smoke screen here and nothing to do with it otherwise. We get a fire on him. He's on damage con, we'll keep that in mind, but for now we're just going to shoot this guy. Now, your job as a destroyer is not necessarily just to go out and torp battleships. It is primarily to hunt down the other destroyers so they can't go out and torp battleships, your battleships. So, and then after we do that, at this point, now we have the option to just go out here and torpedo whatever we want. Why am I shooting this guy? Because I'm not spotted, and I'm hoping to get him to burn a damage con. I'm hoping for a perma flood here. Don't know that those are going to hit. Maybe one. Ah, boy. Now we have to be careful here. Playing a very dangerous game. Oh yeah, he's turning out towards us, alright. Let's try and get behind this island very quickly. Your goal as a destroyer is to not get spotted. You don't want them to know where you are, and you don't want them to be able to shoot at you. So we're gonna go this way. Go right. Like we talked about, these torps aren't hurting, and I'm actually not hitting them that well, at all, actually. But they are reloading very quickly, so they're ready quite frequently. I'm gonna go here, right there, and we'll see how that goes. We could get him with a couple. Now, he's a Brandenburg, that's a Flounder. Obviously, I think his goal at this point is to get in there and torpedo the Flounder. I know that because I play that ship. I know all about it. I know what to expect with it. So there's a good chance he's cutting that way. That can be something you take into account when you figure how to place your torpedoes. Looks like we're going to get him with 1 or 2. We get him with 2. Again, they don't really hurt. That was Japanese torps. There's a good chance he was dead from that. There is another destroyer here. take some shots at him. Now you see that hurt quite a bit.
Unser Team hat die Führung übernommen.
I'm going to switch to AP. We'll see how that does.
Kritischer Maschinenschaden.
That didn't work out, so.
Problem gelöst.
Alright. Now we really want to go ahead and drop spot here. So I'm going to stop shooting for now. Again, your goal is to not get spotted. So in this case, how do I do that? I stop shooting and get out of spot range. That's going to be death for him. Okay.
Gegnerisches Schlachtschiff zerstört.
There we have drop spot. That's all those secondaries are no longer shooting at us, so that's good. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pop a damage con. Now, we have our smoke sonar ready. So if this guy comes close to us,
Problem gelöst.
we can just smoke sonar him. Which is going to be our goal. Now this one has not particularly gone well for our team. Let's just slow down. Let's launch some torps that way just in case. Why are we slowing down? Because I want to show off the smoke sonar again. That's really our best chance of beating this guy in a gunfight now. And we have to be going a certain speed to be able to do that. We know where he's at. Now this is dangerous because he could be launching torpedoes at us. So he's turned out from the looks of it. We're gonna save that torpedo for now. That Azuma was really hoping to catch us off guard. We'll launch some torps at him. Alright. Let's pop this engine boost here.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
Now the Azuma is obviously biggest threat to us. So we can get free shots on the Lightning, but the Azuma we're not going to get unless we torp him. Looks like those are going to miss. Yeah. Unfortunate. I mean, thing is, I don't want him to know where I am, and if he drops spot for a split second, he's gonna know where I am. But there's a good chance the Lightning's gonna turn and burn back for us. So let's get behind the island. Let's try and draw the Lightning into a fight that he's not gonna be able to see us or get support from his Azuma buddy.
Gefecht endet in 5 Minuten.
Dump torps because we can. Let's get back into this cap. That's another thing. Your main goal as a destroyer is to spot, whether it's battleships. Just find out something that's advantageous to spot. Like maybe you have a cruiser that is island spamming, right? He can't do that unless you do, unless you spot for him. So the destroyer, we can see the smoke screens over there, so we know the Lightning is by the Flounder. So there is that. I don't know that we're gonna hit him with torps. We might. The Lightning definitely ran.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Good chance those run out of range. Yeah. Okay, so we need to get into this cap. I think our best thing to do is to win on points here. So you don't have to win harder, you don't have to torpedo everything to have a big effect on the game. In this case, we've taken out a destroyer, we torpedoed a battleship, we're gonna get a cap. That guy's coming to us. He turned in. He's coming back to defend the cap. We gotta be very careful about that. Let's start speeding up. Dump some torps there. Lightning's coming back too. Alright. There we go. We do not have to get into another gunfight to win this battle. All we really have to do is survive. That's it, guys. So sometimes that's all it takes. So we can just kind of... The Azuma is a heavy cruiser. It does not have radar. He's reversing, so he's not very maneuverable. I don't really know why he's doing that. I guess he's just trying to get into a cap.
Unser Team verlässt sich auf Sie.
So you can see we're the last one left here. I'm gonna guess he's gonna slow down. So, could be wrong. If I am, I'll shoot him again. Yeah, he's slowing down. He's trying to get into this cap, so he's gonna stop right about there. Good chance we hit him with torps. It's not always the best play to just, like, shoot him, you know, outright. Where it says they're going to go. Sometimes you just kind of got to predict where they're going to go. Even if these torpedoes do not hit, they're going to force him out of the cap. One or the other. Both of those things are good for us. But it looks like we're going to hit him. Yeah, with 2. Yeah. So... all we got to do to win this is survive for another minute 14 seconds. Best way to do that, don't get spotted, you know? The lightning is quite far from us. Those are probably going to miss. That's alright. We don't need them to hit. We're not going to win this one harder than we have to. Would have been nice to show off the smoke sonar a little bit more, because you can take out 2-3 destroyers with that, right? But, yeah, they have a cap advantage, but I recognize that because... you know, we have 17 seconds left. There's no opportunity for them to get those points back. The only way they're going to win is if I die. And if I don't get spotted, I'm not going to die. So, yep, that's that. And then we'll just take a cheap shot at him just to torment him. He thinks we're over there. We're over here. So, that's just a little bit of bullying. So you can see, not a crazy damage game, 62,000, but we topped out the leaderboard. There was probably somebody in our team who had 100K or more. Good chance. They'd have to, pretty much. So why are we at the top of the leaderboard? Well, because we did our job. See, we have 3 spots, 2 of which are destroyers. That's great. That's a great thing to do for your team, because your team's going to shoot destroyers. You saw that mines did most of the damage to the Sims, I think it was. Benson. Most damage to the Benson. So spotting it alone is a good thing to do. I also shot at him. I took some pretty good chunks off that lightning too. I torpedoed to Brandenburg. That's torpedoing battleships isn't going to get you at the top because that's not too important. But we got a cap. We defended our cap. We survived, and had we died, since it came down to us, we would have lost the game. But we made the high IQ play and didn't get into fights we didn't have to get into to win the game. Your ultimate goal, win the game. It's not to get crazy damage, it's to win the game. So yeah, just get into those caps when you can. That should be a priority, is getting into caps. Number 1 priority, spot destroyers. Number 2, get caps. Number 3, torpedo things. That's your goal of priorities. Yeah, so pretty good game. That is the Z-23. So, next up, I'm going to do a pure or more torpedo-focused ship. In this case, it'll be the Akatsuki. I would like to do the Sommers, but that's a premium ship, so it's not quite the same. Let me go ahead and throw some stuff on this. I don't have that. I will have to buy one of those, I don't know which. Trying to get the Alaska. Anyway, let us do the Akatsuki. This is the Tier 6 Japanese torpedo boat right below the Kaguro. So like we talked about, high torpedo payload. In this case you get 9 heavy hitting Japanese torpedoes. The guns are good, they just reload in a long time. And they don't have much hit points. This one's only 13,000, but they are stealthy too. So that's without a camo, 5.7 kilometers. We will just toss on a one-time use camo just because. Just so that way you get an idea of what the stealth's going to be like. In this case it's 5.4. This is every one of my destroyer commanders for the most part are all low levels. I don't think you really need high level destroyer commanders to do fine in a destroyer. So anyway, let's go ahead and take out the Akatsuki. So I'm going to show you, or I'm going to attempt to show you, how to do your job in a torpedo focused battle, or torpedo focused destroyer that's not going to be the best at taking out enemy destroyers. That's not to say don't go out there and spot them. It's just to say do it smartly. Get into those caps, do it smartly, you know. And I'll showcase some other things that I like to do on ships that have long torpedo range, particularly the Sommers. Anytime you get above 10 kilometer torpedo range, I like to do different things that I'll demonstrate. So our torpedo range, 10 kilometers. They reload pretty quickly. I don't remember what it is, but it's something good. So, what do I like to do? Well, what I like to do is dump torps into a cap. Why? Because there's a good chance the destroyer's going for it, and you might just hit him. And we'll get those torpedoes back in 1 minute and 8 seconds. Good chance by the time we have the ability to spot something else that they're going to be reloaded. So, now this is a carrier game. We're top tier. They have Fubuki, a Kiev, which is a Russian destroyer. They have an Atlanta. That's an American cruiser. It has a radar. So we got to be very careful about that. They also have a carrier. So this is another thing that throws a wrench into it. The Atlanta, I know, is a 9.5 kilometer radar. So, but if they use it at max range, it's not too big a deal. I can just retreat. It won't be the end of the world. We see that smoke screen, so we know there's a good chance that one of these two destroyers is coming out. Is it the Fubuki? Is it the Kiev? I don't know. What I do know is the Fubuki I can beat in a gunfight. The Kiev I cannot. We are going to... What did we spot? Bayern, maybe? We're getting into this cap. The planes are over there, so they're not really going to spot us. The main threat of the planes, honestly, is... Okay, so there's something closer than... Oh, shit. That looks to be Fubuki. Those are triple racks. So there's a Fubuki out there. We know that. We're going to get behind the island so nothing else can really shoot at us. Yeah, the Kiev's out there. So we can beat the Fubuki in a gunfight. I don't know that those torpedoes will hit. They might. He's moving pretty slowly. We got to be careful about those planes. You like to disengage your AA anytime you can. We barely got that cap. Alright, let's get away from the planes. We do not want to be spotted by the planes. Looks like we're going to get warspite with a couple. Just one, but it's enough. And here come the planes. Not sure what he was doing there. Let's go ahead and launch torps at the Andrea Doria. So you can see, I don't think this guy, his only goal is to spot us from the looks of it. So we could pop a smoke screen here. We're not really being shot at, so I don't see any real reason to do that just yet. We're just kind of getting to shoot down his planes. Looks like he is going to actually go for a... misses us there. So yeah, carriers kind of just harass you. Sometimes they're actually shooting at you. He barely shook our torps there. All right. We're just going to take a quick shot at him. Hopefully defend our cap. Nope, we don't get to defend it. That is unfortunate. Alright, well, so plan B, he's not really shooting us. Most of the time at a higher tier, they're gonna, if you shoot and get spotted, you're gonna get shot at, you know? But I guess this guy doesn't have interest in that. So, good chance he eats one of these two, possibly. He might actually just shake it. Wow. He got very lucky there. Alright. Well, in that case, I don't really want to let this guy get away with the mid-push like that, but we don't have a great torpedo angle on him. I think the better thing to do would be get back into this cap while simultaneously getting into and torpedoing this warspite. Our team is really falling apart here. I guess those torpedoes got dropped onto the island. Warspite's really moving. We're just gonna go ahead and pop this smoke screen real quick. Let's go to our left here, because the Synop's going to try and cut us off to the right. Warspite's going to shake those torps again somehow. Let's go ahead and disengage AA. I don't know how he keeps managing to shake them. Man, just constantly shaking them just enough. Gotta love it. Carriers. There we go. It's finally wised up. He's gonna shoot us now. Let's cut right. Alright. We're proxy spotted. We want to try and get out of proxy spot. So, how do we do that? Well, we try cutting around the island, or at least try and make it so they can't shoot us anymore. That's gonna do it. Alright. Well, didn't do a whole lot of damage, but we got 2 caps, you know. So, at a certain point, no longer anything you can do. Now, we could have probably done better hitting those torpedoes. But, yeah, as I suspected, we were at the top there. Yeah. That one didn't go as well. We'll do one more here. What's another one that I could show fundamentals with? Let's do one that doesn't have a sonar. Let's do the Fantask. What's up, Fleet Admiral? Alright, so like we talked about, French destroyers, no smoke screen, but very fast. Torps are pretty solid. This one could be something good. No carriers. They have a Friesland and an Akatsuki. Akatsuki is not scary at all, but that Friesland, absolutely. I'm looking at the cruisers. The Helen is an American cruiser, but it does not have a radar. It does have a sonar. Now on our side, we have a Talon. That is a Russian light cruiser. That one does get a radar. American tech tree cruisers below tier 7 don't get radar for some reason, but the Russian heavy cruiser line above tier 6 gets it, and the Russian light cruiser line at tier 5 and above gets it. Don't ask me why. I don't believe Soviets got radar until like after World War II. But apparently they were the industry leaders, according to Wargaming. So like we said, Friesland, very scary. Good chance we cannot beat that thing in a gunfight without help. Located. The Akatsuki is not scary. That's the ship we were just in. It does not have many hit points at all. I'm just going to dump a couple of torps down that cap. See what we can do here. Maybe we catch him off guard. Maybe. It looks like he's not going down the middle. He's going around the side. There is a destroyer in B. Don't know what. So Friesland is scary for a couple reasons. It does not have torpedoes, so not as scary to battleships, but against us, terrifying, because it has very quick-firing guns that do a lot of damage, gets a smoke screen and a sonar, and the sonar is about German levels. What do we got? Miyoko, okay. So, and there is a destroyer out here very, very close to us. That could be the Akatsuki, actually. Nope, Friesland. We're gonna need to pop this. We're popping our reload booster because we need to.
Alerte incendie. L'oreille principale sérieusement endommagée.
And we're sonared now. So obviously that's not good. Maybe the best thing to do here is turn and burn. Actually, yes. Yeah, Friesland's terrifying. There's a chance we get him with torps. I don't know how likely it is, but let's see. Probably not, if I had to guess. Yeah. Barely missed him. So he takes us out of the fight. We took him most of the way out of the fight, but just not enough. But the good news is he's not a terrifying threat for our battleships. We were a terrifying threat for his battleships. So really, as long as he doesn't get his hands on our kid, and even our kid has heals, it's basically a Fletcher, could probably take him at that level. And the Akatsuki, I mean, he should be able to take the Akatsuki, no problem. Although, he's down to half health. Don't know why. Let's try one more. Let's go with the Sommers, because that's going to be the closest thing I have to the Fletcher. So this one is kind of like a hybrid. It's got great guns, it's got great torpedoes, not great AA though. Nothing fancy to it. It's a smoke screen. It's a long smoke screen. It's a engine boost, you know, but no fancy consumables. It's just you, your guns, your torpedoes. Get out there and go to work. And this will be the last one for this tutorial. I wish I had the Fletcher so I could show that one off. So they have a Loyang. Loyang is significant in that I have it. It gets to stealth sonar you, but the stealth sonar is crazy. It's like 5.4 kilometers. Hard to counter. I'll show you how. They have an Indianapolis and an Atlanta. Both of those are radar cruisers. Z-39 is the stealth sonar destroyer as well, but not as scary as the Loyang. So, gotta be careful. Now, this one has very long range torpedoes. So what do? Well, I like to just dump them. Let's just dump them there. And we'll do one more down there. Even though it reloads in 1:30, by the time we get into position to torpedo something else, you know, because you gotta, one, spot them, two, you gotta line up a shot. I mean, 99% of the time they're gonna be reloaded. Why am I dumping them? Because there's a small chance they hit the destroyer. I mean, these go up to 12.4 kilometers, so they are very long range. And if you ever have a ship like the Gearing, maybe, or some cruisers, anything with long-range torpedoes, just dump them right off the bat. Maybe you hit something, and if you do, you're going to be happy about it. I promise you, you're not often going to be disappointed that you dumped the torpedoes, even if you don't hit anything. Because you can see, we're down to 45 seconds left. We don't even have anything spotted. There's the North Carolina. So, in this case, it's one of the rare circumstances he's actually rushing right into the cap. Smart players generally aren't going to do that. Not that he's stupid, but it just draws a lot of attention to you. There's a good chance he's not the closest thing to us. I'm imagining there's a destroyer. So, 17, 16. See, our torpedoes are just about reloaded again. Now we're playing cautious because we don't want to get spotted, especially if that's a Friesland, or not a Friesland, a Loyang. So, we're gonna go ahead. Send the torpedoes like that. Is it gonna work out? I don't know. We'll see. We probably could have held them. Probably could have went for a broadside instead. In a perfect world, broadsides are what you want. I don't want to get into range to spot myself, so he's going to start reversing. We're going to try and get in there, get the cat, and if he's going to just reverse to the moon, obviously, we're going to be able to just kind of torpedo him. Quick pop an engine boost. So it looks like his team's abandoned him. So he's really the only one out here. We get him with one. Don't think those are going to have the range to get in out to the Bismarck, but who knows. I'm not... well, I guess it's too late. I didn't really want to get in there and contest the cat. Didn't want him to know I was here, you know? So both... there's two destroyers out towards A. The Loyang's 20 kilometers away from us. That's really the main one I was nervous about. Given that he's so far away, I'm not too worried. So we're in here getting the cap. Maybe we'll be able to torpedo this guy too. Don't think that's gonna hit the Bismarck, but it might just. But good chance that's gonna be death for the North Carolina, unless he really starts turning. We're just gonna sit here because we don't want to leave the cap. Oh yeah, that's death for the North Carolina. This is a dev strike right here.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Yeah.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Now, why am I out here torpedoing battleships? Well, because I wanted the cap. Don't want to abandon the flank. I went in there, I got the cap. I was able to torpedo this guy as a result. But that was not my primary intention or focus. So now, we're going to go ahead and move out and try and get into B.
All stations, proceed to capture that area.
This would be Fletcher gameplay right now, but unfortunately I just don't have it unlocked for you guys. So I do apologize about that.
All stations requesting fire on the
There's
designated
the Atlanta.
target.
He's turning away from us, so not too much to worry about there. They're kind of all lemming training towards A. We're the only destroyer left. We really need the help of our cruisers. Saray is a radar cruiser, I believe. We have Jean Bart and Bismarck still full health, which is good. There we go. Now we're only able to do that because of this long range, obviously.
Affirmative.
Now we're going to leave them and we're going to get into B. We'll try and still spot these guys, but our primary goal is going to be get in, capture B, deny them points so we can get back to a points advantage lead. Going for all the base XP here.
Enemy battleship detected.
Yeah, so those are probably going to miss. Closest thing to us is directly in front of us, so nothing in the cap circle. We may end up hitting the Iowa, potentially. Maybe. Oh, he barely shook him.
We've been spotted.
Radar. Not the end of the world, because whatever it is cannot shoot us. So it's kind of a wasted radar. Like, okay, you've radared us, now it's done. And they didn't get to shoot us once. So sometimes radar, if you utilize cover correctly, even if you're spotted, if they can't shoot at you, big deal.
All forces provide cover for that target. All
Oh, yeah.
stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Alright, we got the caps back. We're gonna take some shots at this guy. Oh shit, the Atlanta's out there. Okay, not good. Alright, we're smoking up.
Generator started. The ship is on fire.
Very nice.
Problem solved, sir.
So this guy is a radar cruiser, but he's wasted his radar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap to AP. Take shots at him.
Set.
Knock out a gun there. So we really gotta help the Saray.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
There's an Indianapolis that is also a radar cruiser. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jean Bart is putting in work. Appreciate him. We're going to... Oh, shit.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Oh boy. Oof.
The ship is on fire.
That is not good.
Problem solved, sir. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Now, if we are going to get spotted again, we want the ability to, you know, give warning of where the destroyer is, because if we get spotted again, we're dead, basically. We want to be able to spot the other destroyers for our team. So we're not going to leave these guys' sights.
We've been spotted.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Shoot him, shoot him, shoot him.
All stations concentrate fire on the target.
There we go, good chunk. There we go, ahead and dump the torps. And we're hoping for the best. Maybe we hit him. I don't know.
Torpedoes to port.
We've been spotted.
Torpedoes to port.
Oh, damn. Unfortunate. Those torpedoes did not hit, so. He does. I mean, our teammates know where the destroyers are. Get in there, get that Loyang. The Jean Bart should be able to pop around and surprise this Fletcher, because he is very close to that Jean Bart. More close than he wants to be. Oh, very close to being dead. Turn in there, dude. Chase him down. Chase him down. Cut right. Cut right. He's gonna drop spot if you don't. Our Bismarck got the Loyang. If they get the Fletcher, this could be a win. Because I think the Jean Bart should be able to take that Iowa. I don't know why he's still going right, or going left. I don't know why that guy was... He should have cut in for that smoke screen. So that's going to be a loss this time. But yeah, there's only so much you can do. Alright, so that is going to be it. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. And hopefully it helped out. So with that said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. And subscribe if you enjoyed. Leave a like. Appreciate it. Discord links in the bio. All that good stuff. Alright, you guys have a good rest of your day. I will be going live with regular ships in just a moment. But wanted to get out a tutorial, so I'll catch you guys later.